So, first, I'll introduce myself. I'm Bart Forbes. I'm the president of the Clan Forbes Society, and I rebooted the organization in 2018 because of a Clan Forbes tour that I took. It was a personal 3-day tour with Jamie Lord Semple, who is the grandson of the last private owner of Craggybar Castle. And sitting in a car with him, driving all over Scotland, meeting all these people, and seeing the castles and getting both the history and the family dirt was quite the experience. And that's when I came back and I decided I'm going to reboot the society, which had originally been started in 1979, but had been literally died off in some cases. And so I rebooted it. And so we've been active in getting involved in the last 6 years. I'd like to ask Natalie to also introduce herself because she's on the board of directors. So, Natalie, could you say hi and talk a little bit about yourself and what you love about the tours?
Hi, I'm you unmuted me, didn't you?
No, I
Um,
didn't.
oh, okay. I'm currently out shopping, so I should turn
Okay.
my this just hit at a wrong time for me today, but that's okay. Um, I wanted to be on it. So, yes, I am on the board. I missed our last board meeting, so I feel like I've lost track of where we are from last month. But these tours are phenomenal, and I will tell you it's because of the personal connections that you make when you go over there and the personal connection that you have. I'm really involved with trying to clean up our current family tree and working on the behind the scenes on the project of that. So we all kind of figure out how we're all related. But what's nice is going on a trip like this where you're going with all the people from around the world that are all related to you somehow via Forbes. It ends up becoming such a unique group of individuals that you'll have friends for life after a tour like this. But it is truly like a once in a lifetime kind of a deal. And yes, I've gone on a couple of them, so maybe it's more than once in a lifetime. But I definitely recommend it highly. So that's all I'll say.
Great. Okay, I'm going to go around like clockwise to where I'm going. Let's say Joy. Hi. How are you?
Hi,
Where are you
I'm
where are you
good.
from and why are you going?
Well, I'm from Ontario, Canada, and I'm going because my grandmother was a Forbes, and she came over from England when she was a young girl, took the boat over, and I'm just fascinated with the history, and I want to come to Scotland. I haven't been, and I just can't think of any better way to see Scotland,
I
so.
happen to agree.
And
Elizabeth.
it's
Oh,
quite
yeah,
wonderful to
sure.
have. It's quite wonderful, you've got relatives all over, and it's wonderful that you can be in touch with your heritage this way, I think. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Elizabeth. Hi, where are you from? Why are you
Hello,
going to go?
hi. Yes. Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm from Sandpoint, Idaho. My husband Steve and I are excited to go. Neither of us have been to Scotland before, but I heard about it through my sister, who is in one of those pictures behind Bart, or maybe a couple of the pictures. My sister is Barbara Nikolic. She and her husband John they've been on two tours. So they were on the one 2 years ago. Um, they aren't able to go this time, so I'll miss them on that. But this way I get to kind of catch up with some of the history and some of the places. Also, we have our youngest daughter right now is studying in London. She's doing a master's in engineering. And so at the end of our trip, we hope to connect with her somewhere. Um, and I'm kind of thinking about like going to Edinburgh for a few days because I've heard lots of great things that are happening there around that time too. So she might maybe take a train up and visit us there. So
Nice.
really excited about the whole.
Just be warned, it could be a busy, busy time in Edinburgh. You have the international conference, the international festival, then you have the Fringe Festival. It's going to be expensive and crazy, but it's all worth it. I've been there.
Okay,
Great.
yeah.
Gail, hello.
Hello.
And you're Fordyce.
Yes, my grandfather came out from Scotland by boat and
And
then
tell them where you're calling from and say why it's good morning to you.
we're from Sydney in Australia, and my husband Ray and myself have never been to Scotland. So looking forward to having a bit of guidance with the tour rather than just trying to do it ourselves. And at the end, our son lives in Germany with his family.
Ah, great.
So we'll get to catch up with our grandchildren and as well.
That's awesome. That's perfect. That's perfect. Let's go on now to Jen and Alex, right? Or just mime. It's okay.
There we go.
Hi, it's Jen and Alex. We're also coming with Alex's parents, Barb and Tom. They just couldn't join us today. They made dinner plans, so they're out. But yeah, we have always wanted to go to Scotland, and next year is actually Alex's 40th birthday. So this has been a bucket list trip for him to go to Scotland. So we thought, what better way to see it than on a tour of the Forbes history?
Is this his first 40th birthday? I've had about 30th birthdays. So
This will be my first 40th.
And we're all based in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada
from
here.
Canada, Australia.
Yeah.
Yep. And we also have one from England coming up, I think. Is he on? I don't think he's going to be on Simon Forbes, but yeah, we'll catch up with him. It's 11 o'clock at night for him. Yeah, Ryan, you waved? Did you wave?
That was me. I just waved to Jen's husband. So his first 40th birthday. So
His first 40th.
I know how he feels. He feels good.
Yeah.
That's great. Let's go on to the Natalie for Phobes and Scott. Natalie had to go, right? So it's just you, Scott. Oh, you're off. You're on mute. You gotta hit the microphone. Call your wife. Ask her how to do it. No, you're on mute. Let me see if I can unmute you myself. I don't. Yeah. The lower left-hand corner of your screen, you should see a little microphone that says audio. You need to click that. I can't unmute you for you. Why don't you figure that out? Look for a little microphone that says audio. I'm not quite sure which app you use. And then click it, and that'll turn your microphone on. No, we still can't hear you. Okay. We will get back to you for sure. Okay. Let's go to Dallin. I see Dallin is on from Illinois.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I can't get my camera to work, but it's good to see all of you. Yeah, I'm originally from Chicago. I recently moved to Florida, and I'm a Forbes, so it's the strongest part of my lineage, and apparently the most interesting one, just with how how detailed everything is. So I'm just fascinated to see everything in person and learn about it. Yeah.
Great. And
So I'm
Scott is back
unmuted
with
now.
us. Yay!
Um,
Scott.
Hi, my name is Scott Sunday, SUNDE. I'm Natalie's husband. Some of you may or may not know Natalie's a Forbes, not a Forbes. One of her relatives was muckety muck with the church in Scotland, got crosswise with James I, was imprisoned and then exiled to Holland. And people in Holland didn't pronounce the R. And so some of them immigrated to the US and kept it FOBES. The other ones finally were forgiven and went back to Scotland and added the R. So that's why she is what she is. We were in Scotland a couple years ago. We went to Edinburgh and some other places. We went to her family castle, which is north of Aberdeen, which is called Corse, which is sort of in ruins. We also spent an evening at Forbes Castle, which was sort of interesting. But we're looking forward to going back again. It's a beautiful place. The people are exceptionally friendly. Uh, and I'm mostly Norwegian, but I have a little Scottish or English Northumberland in me. And my impression is that my people mucked out Natalie's people's stables. So there you have it.
There you go. Okay. Okay. Oh, French had to jump off, but I'll get the video and the summary to him. And Wendy is driving. Do you want to say a few words, Wendy?
Yeah, I can talk, I think, and pay attention. So yeah, I'm Wendy, and myself and my husband Mike went last year on the tour. We live outside of Washington, D.C. in Fairfax, Virginia. The tour was fantastic. I mean, just much, much better than I could have ever imagined. So it's definitely worth going on if you're hesitant. Um, Still, I have not decided if I'll go this year because it is the same tour. I'm like, I don't know. I need to see everything exactly the same. But so I'm still on the fence.
I understand.
And
We're changed up a couple of things, but because it went so well last year, and here's a confession on our part. Um, our previous tour organizer dropped out. She's retired, went into real estate. And so she originally told us that ours would be her last tour, but then a couple of months ago she said, "No, I really can't do it." So that's why I started scrambling, and I said, "Just keep it the way it is." And
yeah,
really, I mean, we have the basic, we have all the hits, Wendy,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and we have a couple other switch ups, but it is the same tour. But um, you're right, but you got to see Malcolm and Ginny again.
I know it was very nice, and that's kind of what I figured. It was so good last year. You thought, why mess with it? We'll just repeat it because it really was. It was
Exactly. And
fantastic.
that's also the easiest way to redo it. Maybe in
Right,
2 years we'll kind of jigger it up, maybe even longer. We have the problem is you damn Forbeses and Fordyces and Phobes, we have so many castles and people and
right.
connections there, and who are we going to skip, you know? So.
True.
So I'll think about that, Wendy. Maybe we'll do something. Well, I'll talk about them, but I've been communicating with the Viscount Forbes. Jonathan, Viscount Forbes is actually the honor of title for the son of the Earl of Grenard in Ireland. So that may be something in a couple of years.
Yeah,
So we'll see. He's written an article for us. He's going to write a couple more articles. He's engaged with the society. He lives down in London. So that may be a Ireland, Scotland trip. We'll see. We don't know.
yeah. Okay, that sounds good.
But I hear your points, but it'll still be great with different people. So even
Yeah,
better.
Gonna take the bacon this
Great.
one.
Okay, I hopefully will get this through about an hour. I know you all have plans, and Wendy has to get home. But I did want to go through the itinerary, which you've already seen, and then add some notes as to who will be involved. So we start Monday, August 17th. We have a group dinner and group drinks. That was so much fun, wasn't it, Wendy?
yes. Oh, yes.
Just to get to know people because you can be stuck in a bus with these people. So you really got to know these folks and have a wee dram with them. So the Sandman Signature we've got again, and it's a great hotel, pretty much in the middle of Aberdeen. 2 years previous to this, we were really in a hotel on the suburbs of Aberdeen, so I had to walk like about half an hour to get in downtown Aberdeen. Here we're right on the park, and it's right in the middle of everything. It's really convenient. So we hopefully, maybe if you want to stay a few days beforehand, that'd be a nice place to land. The next day is when we start the tour for real. We're going to go hopefully back to, again, this is all uh, um, planned. I'm contacting each of the people now, so you have a good idea of what we'll have when we get there. We'll go back to the University of Aberdeen. They have a lot of archives and artifacts relating to Forbes, and they lay out some of the paintings, like from Anne Forbes, who's a famous painter. They have detailed maps of Castle Forbes. They have a lot of original documents. And I also want to ask the Aberdeen and Northeast Scotland Family History Center to come with us. Their location is in Aberdeen, but they're too small to host all of us. They actually help people with their genealogy. So I'm going to see if I'm a member. I've been a member of them for the last 5 years. I encourage you to become a member as well when you get there. They have a lot of archival information. I'm helping them to bolster all of their Forbes related family information. For example, I have the paper on the Forbes family in Bridgewater and Plymouth. I want to donate to them. Um, so we'll be starting off the University of Aberdeen. We're going to go through a tour of Aberdeen with some of the highlights that mention Forbes. We have a great picture of us around the Crabstain plaque, which was the battle between the Forbeses and the Gordons. You'll learn about that. There's a wonderful obelisk to Forbes of Now, Newe. He was known as Bombay Jack, and he started the Forbes Company, which is still going in India. And so you hear all about the trade with the Forbeses and how his nephew took it over. And it's really quite spectacular. Then we'll go through the University of Aberdeen, the Old Town, see St. Macar's. Did I say that right? Macar, Natalie? Macar's Cathedral, where we have a couple of our bishops buried. And then we will go on that evening to the Glengarry Distillery and have a little wee dram and then come back. So any questions about locations on the first full day of the tour in Aberdeen? Okay. Next day is the exciting day. Well, of course, the first day is an exciting day too. We're going first off to Draminer Castle, which is the first Castle Forbes. And we will meet with the owner, Alex Forbes of Draminer, who is the historian for Clan Forbes. And we'll actually see some archaeological digs around the castle. Because it's so ancient, it was built in the 13th century. The University of Aberdeen has been digging up a lot around it, and we'll see some of their findings. And Alex has a wonderful mind for Forbes history. He'll talk to you about some of the history, about the origins. He's just finishing a paper on the origins of the Forbes, and he has come out with another paper about that area. So he is an incredible font of information. And then we go on to Castle Forbes. Always a special part. Malcolm and Ginny, Lord and Lady Forbes, wanted to give you tea, as what Lord wouldn't? And so we'll have tea at the house. We'll do little tours. Now, for this, we do ask that you wear a bit of the tartan. Malcolm is a stick. First off, he's always Lord Forbes, my lord, or clan chief, until he says, "Oh, please call me Malcolm," which he will. But he is Lord Forbes or my lord or chief. Those are all appropriate, but he'll probably ask you the same with Ginny. I do have to tell a quick story. Uh, we stayed there for a couple of days a couple of years ago, and Ginny came back from the co-op, which is their local grocery store, and she's saying, "Oh, well, I met Farmer John, and he introduced me to one of his friends, and he said, 'Oh, yes, I'd like to meet Ginny.'" Malcolm is usually laid back. He said, "He called you Ginny? He didn't call you Lady Forbes?" That's the only time I've seen Malcolm upset, when they were dissing his lady. So he's aware of protocol, but he's casual and engaging and amazing. I've dealt with a lot of chiefs, and we're very fortunate to have a chief like Malcolm Lord Forbes. Anyway, so we'll meet Malcolm and Ginny. We'll do tours. Now, I do ask that you do wear a bit of tartan, because he has the eye out for that. So a scarf, a tie, a kilt if you have it. Please wear something tartan. It's the Forbes modern is the what he prefers. I know people have the ancient in the dress, but he prefers the Forbes modern tartan. Now, I know you want to dress up a little bit, but it depends on what you want to do. We'll be in the castle, of course, but you might want to wear sturdy shoes, like for all of these sites, because we may take some people out to the Keeg Old Kirk. I don't know if you've been reading about it, but the society paid Malcolm to refurbish the whole site, because about 5 of our clan chiefs are buried there on the site of the castle estate, and he has a nice little plaque up there honoring Clan Forbes society. So if you want to go see the graveyards, the kirk, that's about a 10 or 15-minute trek over the fields. Also, what's very interesting on the castle estate are the standing stones on Cothamere Hill, which are Bell Beaker people. I mean, this is before the Picts, and it's on his private land, and they're really quite astonishing. I have an article about that on the website, the standing stones on Cothamere Hill. So if you want to take a trek around, I'm hoping to spend enough time at the castle so that we can, meet and greet, do a tour of the castle. If some want to go to the Keeg, we'll take people down there. If some people want to go to the standing stones, we'll go there. And then, of course, we have to have tea. And if you're really lucky, and if Malcolm really likes you, he'll break out with his wee dram. So we'll see about that. Or you can mix the two. Have a wee dram in your tea. But they are incredible, amazing people, and hopefully we'll have his heir there, a master of Forbes. His name is Geordie. He's about 14, 13 or 14 now. He is going to be the future Lord Forbes, and so hopefully he and his sister Izzy will be there as well as their mother Maria. But that's what Natalie was saying. You're going to meet the people. You meet Alex, who owns Drummer Castle. You're going to meet Malcolm and Ginny, and it's going to be a wonderful day. Wear sturdy shoes, but by all means, get a wee bit of tartan. Any questions about that first special day with Lord and Lady Forbes and Alex of Draminer? Yay. Next day is going to be a busy day. We'll be going on to 5e Castle, which is an amazing place with amazing features and paintings in there. Our antiquities, armor, amazing. Now, I'm going to try to get Sir George there. This castle, the last owners, it was actually owned by 5 different clans, and each of the families built a part of the castle. The last one was Forbes Leith, and 3 years ago, Sir George Forbes Leith actually met us at 5e Castle. He can tell us wonderful stories about growing up in the castle, as don't we all have stories about growing up in the castle? Um, but I'll ask he and his wife Millie if they would be able to join us. From there, we'll go on to Pitsligo Castle. And fortunately, Alex Forbes is a trustee of Pitsligo. Pitsligo was the home of Alexander the Fourth Lord Pitsligo, who was the head of horse for Bonnie Prince Charlie. He was on the wrong side, and so his estates were attainted, and he lost his title. But the people loved him so much, they kept him hidden for many years. You learn all that story. So Alex will be there at Pitsligo, and he'll tell us a story of that. And then we'll go on to the tragic Tahun Castle. That's the one you see here. It used to be a grand showplace for the entire area. But the last Forbes of Tahun invested in the Darien scheme, and that was the Scottish colony in Panama. You'll learn about that. And he lost a lot of money. So it's an amazing place, huge. So that's the next stop, 5e Castle, Pitsligo, Tahun. The next day, heading out to Craigievar Castle. Again, I'm going to try to get Jamie Lord Semple to join us just for at least for the Craigievar Castle. This is what many people say is the model for Cinderella's castle. And it's huge, it's pink, it's amazing, amazing place. And we actually, again, he has memories of his seeing his grandfather at Craigievar Castle, so he'll tell us stories, hopefully, if he's there. If not, I'm going to try to get his great nephew, Angus Craigievar Forbes Cable, to join us there as well, and they'll tell stories about the family. Then we'll head west in anticipation of the Lanark Gathering, and so we'll be going on our way to Ballater, but we'll stop at another stone circle, Tom Naveri recumbent circle. Now, Ballater is this wonderful little village, shopping galore. You'll have all afternoon to shop at Ballater. Now, there's one change of the schedule, and that is we're going to a different hotel. We're going to be staying at the Loch Kinnard, and that's outside of Ballater, but it's an amazing place. It'll give us more flexibility. It was kind of tight at the Balmoral Arms, but I'll send you information about the Loch Kinnard hotel. It's perfect for us. They have different rooms, and so we'll be staying there. It's in Aboyne, which is the town next door. The next day, another special day, we're going to see Corgarth Castle, which is where the site was of the Scottish ballad Edom of Gordon, where the Gordons burned down the castle with Lady Campbell Forbes of Toohey in the castle with her children. So you'll learn all about that. We don't like the Gordons much. Well, didn't like them much, but for very good reason. And then we'll get to the Lanark Highland Gathering and Games. Oh my gosh, folks, this is special. We'll get you there in time to see the Lanark Highlanders marching down into the field and the Lanark Pipe Band marching down the field. We'll have our section of the grandstand there. the games are just amazing. I mean, they're not like the American games because at the Scottish games, it's all the same family in the some local area. They have tailgating and they have picnics and it's the same people they've seen for decades and decades. And it's an amazing, amazing event. Natalie or Wendy want to jump in about the Lanark games?
Yeah, it was very different than the ones I've been to in the US. You didn't see all the different clans selling and showing their stuff. But it was so neat just
So it's
seeing how it was there.
Natalie, jump in. Okay. And also while we're at the games, we will hopefully meet up with Sir James Forbes of Niao. He's the patron because his ancestors started the games, and he's going to be head of the line, and he usually stops by to say hi. So at every point of the way, we'll try to get someone connected with you so you can meet the people who are involved with these different sites. Oh, you mentioned uh, Corse Castle. We actually met Sir James Forbes, of course, at the games, and I'm going to try to see if we can do a stopover or a quick stop at Corse Castle. But it's overrun. That's why you're really going to need your sturdy hiking boots to hike through the field to get to this ruin. But I'm going to see if I can check in with same Sir James, of course. So that's Corgoff Castle and Monarch Gathering. The next day, we're going to go to Crathis Castle, which was owned by the Burnett of Leys. The Burnetts were close alliances with the Forbeses, and in fact, they're so close that we were intermarried. And you'll see in the Grand Hall, you'll see the Lord Forbes coat of arms embedded in the ceiling. And there's actually a portrait of one of the Forbeses there. And I've been in contact with George Burnett of Leys, and so I'm going to try to see. I'm sorry, James Burnett of Leys. He's the clan chief of Burnett. I'm going to see if I can get him to stop by to say hi as well. But his family still owns the castle. It's just managed by the National Trust for Scotland. And then after that, we're going to go to Dunnottar Castle, which is an amazingly dramatic castle. And we're going to be very fortunate. I'll be kind of the Forbes tour guide. The clans and castles will have their own tour guide, who is Alistair Cunningham, who is an expert on a lot of the history of Scotland, but he's an expert on Dunnottar Castle. And so I'm going to try to see if he can do kind of a talk and discussion about Dunnottar Castle the evening before we go. But we're very fortunate to have him from Clans and Castles. He actually founded the organization. After that long day, and again, hiking boots, it's a long haul to get there, but it's breathtaking. And then we'll get back to the hotel and we'll have a toast to close out the tour. So those are the sites and the proposed itinerary and some of the people you'll be meeting. Questions about the sites or where we're going to go? Anybody? Just wave or jump in.
Do have two things I would like to tell you.
Yes, sir.
Um, we have a good family friend, actually, she's a better family friend of my wife and my daughter, who's a professor of archaeology at Aberdeen. In fact, my older daughter was on an archaeological dig with him.
Oh, awesome.
So although it's in Alaska, I don't think there's a lot of Scottish relics there. If you need an in, let us know and she'll be glad to. And the second, I have a note from my wife that asked me, when do we burn down the Dirty Gordon's Castle? I don't know what it means, but that's what she asked.
Okay, now the problem is we can't plan that in advance because they have spies everywhere.
Okay, all right.
We've learned that. I mean,
apparently,
so we had to be more spontaneously combustible.
But I mean, I didn't realize they were Gordons because every time I heard them, she calls them the Dirty Gordons. Is like Libyan
if you notice, the Marquess of Huntley, who is the clan chief for Gordon, Lord Forbes, of course, has the three muzzled bears because of the legend of Ochanachar Forbesach, who killed the bear and got the land. So we have four muzzled bears. The damn Gordons have three boars' heads, which look very much like Lord Forbes's. And if you notice, our tartan is blue and green with a white stripe. The Gordons took our tartan and they peed on it, and so now they have a yellow stripe instead of a white stripe where our tartan is. That's the story I tell. But in the meantime, Forbes took over Gordon Castle. then was renamed. And then we intermarried with the Gordons, and there's actually a branch called the Forbes Gordons. And the last two times that my husband and I stayed at Castle Forbes, damn Ginny put me in the goddamn I'm sorry, my mouth. Put us in the Gordon suite. I mean, seriously. So we will figure out something. Bring matches. That's all I gotta say.
All right. Thank you.
But so thank you for that. And also, we do have contacts at University of Aberdeen. Alex will tell you about the contact we have at the archaeology department. Also, last time, a friend of mine was the head of admissions for University of Aberdeen, so he came down and chatted a bit about the university as well. So more contacts, the better. So that'd be great. Any other comments besides burning down the Gordons?
I had a question about Donator. I don't know that I've read about that before. Do we have a connection to that castle, or is that just a cool one?
Strangely enough, the Forbeses have a connection with just about everything in Aberdeenshire. But yes, there's actually a house on the site of Donator. That's the Thomas Forbes of Waterton house. And I actually wrote an article about that on the website because I didn't know about that. And I said, well, that's a cool castle. I want to go see that. And then we're walking along. I said, oh my gosh, the Thomas Forbes of Waterton house is in on the site. What? So there is a story behind that, and I'll be asking Alistair to talk more about that as well. But you'll find that there are connections with Forbeses throughout that area. I mean, I tell you, if the Forbeses were a lord or a viscount or whatever, they were marrying off their daughters like nobody's business. And we all know who runs the families. But they were very.
Let me also add that Forbes of Waterton, I think it's the second and third Lords Forbes of Waterton are actually hanging in the dining room at Draminer. And I know this very well because I took a photo that I use at the Scottish Highland Games here as one of the walls of my tent. And you can see the portraits. Alex Forbes of Draminer, who of course descends from the Forbes from Pitsligo, he is a little bit of an art collector, and one might say somewhat obsessive about his artwork. And he oftentimes has paintings and things he's just acquired, and there's nowhere to hang them, and they're stacked in his rooms of his home. But those two, I think it's the second and third Lords Forbes of Waterton, are hanging in his dining room on either side of the window, which is just kind of interesting. He's got quite a lot of history about the Waterton line.
First time I visited him, I don't think he believed in bookshelves. So he had stacks and stacks of books
He just has
everywhere.
too many books.
So how can you have too many books, Natalie? Seriously.
Because when you collect every book there is, there's just, I mean, the castle is only so big. I mean, if they had kept the whole
It's
thing
only a
and not
castle.
knocked down 3/4 of it, he might be better off. But you know, we had to knock down all that stuff that the Gordons, kind of ruined, and so we have we only have 1/4 of that castle left.
That's true. And you'll learn all about that when we walk the perimeter of the original castle. The castle we're going to is really just the dining hall. They used to have a tower, the Preston's Tower, and they had a huge court, actually two courtyards. And so all we're going to visit is just the dining hall, pretty much. So you learn all about that. But no, he has incredible memory. He has a lot of information. It's kind of hard to pull it out of him sometimes. Once he start going, watch out. We're gonna have to make sure remind him we have to go see the Malcolm and Ginny eventually. So any other questions about the particular sites before I talk about the tour logistics themselves? Nope. Okay, now how many of you have traveled to Scotland before? Raise your hand. Okay. But have all of you traveled internationally before?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good thing. Because there's going to be a few things I'll go over that'll be really, really boring for you, but I like to talk about them anyway, if you don't mind. So Let's start off with packing. Please pack fairly lightly because we're going to be on a bus and we're going to bring your stuff with you. So steamer trunks, maybe not so much. But what I think is always great is do layers. With Scotland, you can never tell. You can never tell. It could be warm, and warm to them is like middle 60s in our terminologies,
Yeah, well,
what is it?
I need a joker.
20s, 25 in Celsius.
Yeah, 18.
It could, and it's going to be wet sometimes. You know it's going to be wet. We were fairly fortunate the last two terms, so I would say layers, light layers, and that would be a big help. We also suggest that you take care of your own health needs, pack your prescriptions, make sure you have a prescription, have enough for the whole trip. Um, you can also, one thing that is nice to have a sturdy pair of walking shoes. We are going to be doing a lot of walking. You don't have to go every place we go. We've had some people just stay on the bus. It's a long walk to Denata. It's kind of a walk up the hill to Corgarth, but it's worth it if you go with us. So good walking shoes are really important. Now, I know you want to dress your best for Castle Forbes, but I would again suggest sturdy walking shoes or maybe a slip-ons for you inside the castle. Malcolm himself wears his wellies a lot. But if you do want to go out, make sure you sturdy walking shoes or just stay in the house and have nice slippers. Um, they're casual people, but I know you want to dress your best for them, and I get that. So, um, and yes, ma'am.
When you say dress your best, are you talking coat and tie?
No, I said you may want to dress your best, but the last few times I didn't bring a coat. I brought a sweater and a tie. I have actually a Forbes tartan waistcoat, a vest that I wear, something light that can be easily packed. I know ladies, you love to dress up, but guys, it weighs a lot more. I mean, the last few every time I brought my kilt, I figured, yeah, I got to bring my kilt. But the last time when I was in Scotland, I was there for a month. We went on the Clan Forbes tour, and then don't get jealous. We went on a tall ship cruise of whiskey distilleries.
Oh,
So, and then we ended up
Okay.
for a few days in Glasgow. Tell you all about that later. But for a month, Tony and I, my husband and I, only had carry-on luggage. So there is a way to do it. You don't have to go as light as we do, but um, a bag and a carry-on and something like a knapsack or a light bag or one of those what were those Birkin purses or whatever. I don't know, but you don't have to impress us, you know. And Malcolm, Jenny, I just love to have you there. But if you want to dress up, that's fine. We did have we had a special event the last trip a year ago. We had a wedding proposal in Castle Forbes.
I saw that.
I heard about
Wendy
that.
smiling.
Cool.
Mention a few
Yeah.
things about that, Wendy. Was
Oh,
that special?
yeah, that was so cool. What a surprise.
Well, it was a surprise to y'all.
Yeah, for us, yeah.
I had to stage manage the damn thing. But yes, it was fun. Also, Wendy and Natalie, be pleased to know we're not going to have a French television team there.
Thank God.
Yeah.
That was
Okay,
horrible.
explanation. Uh, Channel 4 in French television wanted to do a feature on Scottish clans in Scotland, and so they contacted me because I'm the board of what's called the Council of Scottish Clans and Associations. So I gave them some names, but they had to do it within time frame. They wanted to talk to the chief, go to a games, and meet with the clan members. Say, well, bingo. But they were in our faces the entire time, and I thought that'd just be, videotaping while we're doing our thing. No, they stage managed some stuff. So it got kind of a little annoying. I told them so. But no TV crew that I know of this time. But that made it special last year with the wedding invitation. So they dressed up a little bit. So, but that's fun. But yeah, bring some tartan. Yes, Elizabeth,
One
yes,
other question.
please, please.
Is it bad form to wear plaid that's not your tartan?
Oh, he will. Well, if it's Tony wore black watch kilt,
It's an enemy.
he was called out. As we're walking into the castle, Malcolm was grieving. Tony, well, I don't think that's a Forbes flag. I just bought one. I got it at the Scotland shop. I have to pick it up in Edinburgh.
Okay, so yes.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh, that reminds me. The last trip, Scotland Shop is one of our partners with Clan Forbes. You actually get a discount. The unfortunate part is they're based mostly in Scotland. They do have a store in upstate New York, but they did a pop-up shop for us at the hotel the night before, and so they'll take your measurements. That's where Tony got measured for his kilt. And so I bought a tam and Forbes tartan. So we may have them at the hotel again. And so
That
you can
might be
always say that I talked to Scotland Shop, and don't you worry, next time. It's
No,
not
no,
bad taste. It's not bad
no.
taste. He'll call you out. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But
What was that?
I want to add about the Scotland shop, something that I don't think you know, Bart. So I did, for the first time I met our clan chief, I actually ordered, and this was before the Scotland shop had a location in the US, and they still do it either way.
Yeah.
But you can actually have a Zoom call with them as long as you and one other person. So you have to have a friend that's there to help you because you can't do your own measurements. You get on a call with them and they will actually tell you exactly on a Zoom call where to measure, how to measure it. They'll want to see your tape when you do the measurement. They can make you a kilt, they can make you a vest, they can make you trousers. They can do all of that. It takes 6 to 8 weeks to order, but you can actually order it and then pick it up if you're in Edinburgh, or you can have it shipped to you here before you go. So I happened to tell them I don't need it before I go. I'll just come get it when I get there because I did what someone here had mentioned. They wanted to go into Edinburgh. I went into Edinburgh for a few days. I climbed Arthur's Seat. I walked around town. It was during the fringe, and finding a hotel is almost impossible. But I did go over to the Scotland shop, and then we did my try on. And of course, when you go in there and you do your try on, they offer you a dram of whiskey. And I mean, you're just all old friends with them. So you can certainly do that before you go. If you're near Albany, New York, where their location is here, you can have it made. I believe you can actually have it shipped to there. And then I don't know how they're doing all the shipping this moment, but it's actually not bad to have it shipped to you here because I've also purchased other items that I've had shipped here. So if you want to have something specific, you can do it before take as well.
Thank you. That was an excellent, excellent point. But yeah, your virtual fitting, but make sure that whoever's measuring you is a friend.
Or someone
Sworn
you'd
to,
like to be friendlier. I don't
there
know.
you go.
We'll
And
bring some
sworn to
more
silence.
Oh,
But that's a great suggestion if you want to do beforehand. But Elizabeth, no, they're not going to embarrass you in front of everybody if you have a plaid that's not Forbes tartan. But he'll joke about it because he's really likes to see the plaid, the tartan. Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else about the itinerary or the sites themselves? Okay, wardrobe. Um, one thing I've learned, if you're gonna, does any guy have a kilt on the line
No,
yet? Not yet.
no.
Okay, I'm going to talk about rolling it rather than folding it. One other thing you might want to bring, insect repellent. The midges are real.
We're from
The Loch
Australia.
Ness
We know
monster
about
might
that.
be fake, but the midges are real.
Yeah.
Okay. Ladies, if you want to bring a tartan a sash, that'd be great. Or just a scarf or a little flower, whatever. That's fine. But just wear something tartan be great. Cell phones. One thing we are really need to do is keep you all informed what's happening. Make sure you have either international cell phone coverage, get a local SIM card, which is a programmable SIM card, and also make sure you sign up for WhatsApp. As Wendy and Natalie will tell you, we had a group chat and it really helped to keep everybody together to know who's missing, who's still here, whatever. So I think WhatsApp may be a better choice this next time, but I need to have all that. So please do sign up for WhatsApp so we can send out information immediately because sometimes things change. So communication is really important. I'll have schedule, I'll have a checklist, make sure everybody gets on the bus, off the bus, whatever. Okay, UK travel adapters for power. It's another non-issue. There's a lot of universal adapters you can get on Amazon. So make sure you have a universal adapter for the hotel. I mentioned about luggage. Try to keep it down as much as you can because you're going to be lugging that stuff around. And again, some of you, as we are, will be staying probably about 4 weeks in Scotland for this trip. Tony and I are going to go in beforehand because I have to meet with Malcolm and Alex a few days before for a bunch of issues with the society. Then the tour. Then we're going up to Inverness, and then maybe down to Dundee to see the new V&A museum, and then hopefully a few days in Edinburgh after the madness stops. So take a look. I mean, you're going to be flying over anyway. Why not add a few days on before, a few days after? Why not? If you can afford it, if you can afford the time. Um, Local currency, of course, is British pounds, although one thing we learned is that there's Scottish pounds and there's English pounds. We tried to get our English pounds a couple years ago transferred to Scottish pounds. They said, oh no, those are English notes. So but ATMs are everywhere. You can charge anything anywhere. Wendy, Natalie, anyone that have any concerns with getting access to funds?
No. Mm-mm.
Nah. But I also do want to cover that. As you know, there's a VAT, a value added tax, 20%. You can, if you keep track of that, you can fill out a customs form 407 and get that reimbursed after you leave the country. Kind of a hassle. It's up to you. Yay, French is back on board. Just as
Hey there.
I'm just getting to duty-free alcohol, so you come in just the right time.
Sorry, I had two sick kids, but I hope to
I'm
catch the tail end of this.
okay. And French, why don't you say where you're from?
Sure, sure. So French Forbes, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I'm new to the society. My great uncle was actually the president back in the early '90s and spoke really highly of some of the tours. So excited about hopefully being able to do one of these.
Which was it Harlan Forbes? Was it Bill
Uh,
Forbes? Who?
it was Nelson Forbes. He was I think 1990, 91.
Yep. If you notice, I had a whole blog about the original Clan Forbes, and people have been giving me all of their stuff. Oh, who you have a cat there? That's Forbes of Meow, not Forbes of Meow. Oh, French. That's really cool. But definitely look up that blog in the Forbes the private section of the website. I have a whole archive of all the original newsletters, and so he's mentioned a number of times. Anyway,
Yeah, that's
so great. Glad to have you on board and reconnected. Uh, Generally, what we found is you can bring in 2 bottles or 2 liters of whiskey. One year, I kind of overindulged, and we were going through customs, and Tony kept saying, "Bart, just stop looking guilty." But they really, really don't check. Natalie, have you had any problems with bringing more than 2 bottles of whiskey in?
No.
No, not an issue. But don't go overboard. Don't be like a dealer. But
Um,
usually a couple of bottles.
One
Yeah,
thing that's worth noting, it's kind of minor, but is true, is a lot of Scotland is like a lot of the rest of Europe. You have to pay to use a bathroom.
yeah.
And
Having coins.
the problem is that we just got back from Germany, Austria, and Hungary, and generally you can use euros, but
Yeah. Not
the coinage in England is indecipherable. So make sure you have somebody figure out which one you have to use so you don't pee your pants.
Fortunately, we'll be staying at, nicer hotels, not a hostel. And also we're going to tourist sites. So I don't remember that being an issue last few times. And again, for guys, no big deal, out the back. But that's a very good point. If you go off wandering around like in Ballater, that might be an issue. Um, okay, insurance. I really encourage you to get travel insurance. Tony and I do it. I mean, especially we started doing it when we started traveling during COVID, but especially now, it's always good to have it. If they lose your luggage, they'll take care of it. We did have 3 years ago, we had a health issue with one of our guests. Had to be taken to the hospital. I mean, and the hotel manager was brilliant. She actually drove our person. It was from the Dowens house, Natalie, if you remember that. and they drove the person personally to the hospital, but you never can tell what will happen. So please get travel insurance. There are a few that you can find online. If you're an experienced traveler, you know that's always a good thing to have. Um, Comments about that? Wendy, Natalie, anyone? Travel insurance? No, Wendy, you're muted. What's that, Wendy? Oh, and now she's gone. She's frozen.
I'm back.
Okay.
Somehow my
Comment?
speaker is turning off. I don't know why, but anyway.
Comments about travel insurance?
Oh, I think that's a good idea. As I've gotten older, I've learned to get it.
As we do.
When you're young,
You know, and you never can tell, but I would really encourage you. Fortunately, we've never had to use it. It's like one of those things that you hope you never use, but you have to buy it anyway. And if you keep your passport with you, that kind of thing. Tipping. Tipping is usually included whenever we have group events. It's all included. If you want to do a small, I mean, Americans are kind of freaky about tipping, but maybe 10% if you want to. But it is customary to tip your guides and the bus driver. Not me. I'll be your guide, but I'll settle for a wee dram of whiskey or a bottle, whatever. But there may be some local tour guides that we want to reward. In fact, I was really impressed 3 years ago. We went all the way out to Culloden Battlefield, and Jamie Lord Semple was with us, and he was so impressed with the tour guide at the Culloden Battlefield that he said, "No, we have to tip this guy." So he and I chipped in and made sure that he was uh, fully acknowledged to that. But typically not. But if there is something we want to do, but definitely the tour guide who's going to be Alistair Cunningham, who's actually the owner of the company, and the bus driver, as long as he doesn't leave you behind. If he leaves you behind, don't feel like you have to tip him. And what I usually do is I usually get envelopes. I hand out envelopes to you all. You can put one for the bus driver, one for the tour guide, throw in a few quid, and it's up to what you want to do. Wendy, Natalie, any comment about tipping
oh,
or anybody?
oh.
Okay.
So when we're on
Okay.
our own, well, I guess, yes.
What's that?
So when we're on our own for meals, it's customary to,
See, they consider Americans to be over tippers. So if you get goods, it's usually not expected, but if you feel like you have to, or else you'll burst, 10% is good, but Americans have a reputation of over tipping only because we pay our people so low. We don't pay our people well enough. Um, in the UK, they get a living wage, and so it's not as much of a big deal. But you'll see a lot of comments and recommendations online about that. But usually Americans are considered to be over tippers, and they're not complaining. But usually it's included in if it's in a group or if you're on your own, do what you think is right. But don't remember you're not in America, which is like 15 to 20%. 5 to 10 is just fine. Just show extra little thank you and just be gracious. But sometimes being a friend, having a friendly customer is payment enough for a poor overworked server rather than
Yes,
somebody's yelling and
true,
screaming at them.
true.
I've been there, done that. So that's tipping. Telephone codes, it's plus 44 for the UK. If you want to call back home, it's +1. You'll figure that out when you get your cell phone plan. Um, and then there's various city codes. 131 is for Edinburgh, 1224 for city code for Aberdeen. Yeah, this stuff you can learn online. I don't know, we'll keep in touch with all of our sites. And so all you need to do is keep in touch with me or Alistair, and we'll get information you need beforehand. Um, Queuing. Remember to queue. They're British. And that's one thing that I always add my comments about. Make sure you queue. Um, oh, I'm sure you know this already. Do not ask for French fries. They're chips. Don't ask for chips when you want crisps and other little things. Where's the loo? Where's the lift? It's a different language. It really is in many
Right.
ways.
Yeah.
So you'll learn, you know. Uh, When someone said, "Do you want me to knock you up?" It's not an insult. It means, "Do you want me to wake you up in the morning?" And don't you dare bring your fanny pack. I'm not going to explain that. I'm just not going to go there. But it's
No.
a different. I see some people laughing. Um, oh, and please, please, please don't try to talk Scottish. It don't work. Hey, laddie, how you doing there? No, 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 no.
It's like a
It,
pirate.
it was funny because Tony and I were over there one time. We were having a chat with Lord and Lady Forbes, and something was gnawing at Tony. And finally, back in the car with Jamie. Said, "How come Lord and Lady Forbes don't sound Scottish? Aren't they Scottish?" And Jamie laughed, said, "Public schools. They talk posh. It's British upper class. They all talk like they don't talk Scottish." But it's so funny. But another thing, it's funny. Oh, and please, you know this, but don't engage in discussions about politics or religion over there.
Mm.
Please, 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 please. We're all happy travelers together. Not happy travelers, sorry. But we're all traveling together. So those are just some a few things that I thought I'd bring up. Any other questions or suggest? Again, I know not all of you have decided to go. I hope this has given you a better idea, but I urge you to put your deposit soon. The initial deadline is next week. And we have, let's see how many we've got lined up so far. I think I have about 12 people who have committed with their deposit already. And yes, 12. We have 12 paid. Uh, we were looking at 20, so we have 8 slots. If we go over, that's okay. Moving to the uh, La Quintor Hotel gives us a little more flexibility. We only had 10 rooms at the Balmoral Arms, so we may have more flexibility, but I would encourage you to get your deposit down so we know we can count on you. We'll see where we end up in a week, and then we'll do some negotiating if more people want to go or if we need to open up a little more. But I encourage you to put your deposit in now so we can count on you because we have to pay that deposit to the hotels. That's why we have an initial deposit with the hotels to lock in. And I tell you, August that is the season for Scotland, as you're probably finding out. Everybody wants to go to Scotland. Nobody wants to go in the wintertime for some strange reason. They love them midges. So that's kind of overview of the itinerary, some suggestions. What's on your mind? Open it up. Just wave or just jump in. Joy, anything that's on your mind? Any questions you have?
Yeah, actually, I was wondering, I was going to write to you, but how do I pay my deposit? Do you do it through
In the
electronic
itinerary,
funds?
there is a link to the client login. And I
Oh,
can,
okay.
okay, so go back to the itinerary. It's a link
Oh,
on the PDF. You click on that, or I send that to you directly. Not a
okay,
problem. And
good.
it's by credit card. Not a big deal. So you can charge a credit card and just put the 500 pounds, and that'll hold it. And then they'll put you on a payment plan. And I think if the last payment is due around March. And so whatever you want to do, we want to pay it up as soon as possible and get out of
Yeah.
our way. But I'll send you the link for sure.
Okay, thank you. That's
Certainly.
great. Yeah.
Yes, Gail.
So we've paid the deposit. So will you send us an email when we need to make following payments?
Yes, what they'll
Okay.
do, okay. Diana from Clans and Castles will go create an account for you, and then you can log in the client account, and then you can tell her or the staff there what's your if you want to pay it all up, you want to pay 100 pounds a
Okay.
month or whatever, however you want to do. We used to have this by this time, this by that time, and then this at the other time. But Clans and Castles is make your own payment plan as long as the final commitment is here, because that's when we start paying more money out to all the sites.
Yeah.
So this is money we pass through to all of the locations, the hotels, the restaurants, the tour guides, all of that stuff. So that's why
Yeah.
we need to have it in hand because it's the busy season. And tourist business is booming in Scotland because more and more people want to be Scots. And you are.
Yes.
Any
May
other
I ask
questions?
a question?
Or not.
Yes, Joy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, just regarding that, I understand that the $500 is non-refundable, but once you pay for the rest of your trip, and if something happens whereby you just cannot go, is the remainder refundable to you?
Let's talk about travel insurance again. That's
Oh,
where
okay.
that's
Oh, I see.
okay. That's where travel insurance there. If you read the second page of the itinerary, it talks about the terms and conditions, and so there's a certain
Okay,
per
I'll do
mile.
that, Bart. I
Right.
haven't read that. I'm sorry.
Now,
Yeah.
now we did have a couple of cases where we were able to get substitutes for the people who dropped out, and so they were able to pay in that person's place. I wouldn't
Yeah.
count on that because
No.
we've already paid the money out. So
Yeah.
we're not keeping a bank account with your money in it. We've paid
Yeah.
that money out. But that's why I encourage travel insurance. Because if something happens, and we actually had a situation 3 years ago where the person had a horse riding accident, as who doesn't, and on the castle grounds, could not make it. And instead of they didn't have travel insurance, they said, you know what? Bart, I'll give you that whole slot to you personally. And what I did was I gave that slot to a local videographer in Glasgow. And Natalie knows Derek very well. So he went on that position and he videotaped everything and took pictures. And you can see the
Yeah.
videotape from 2022 on our website.
Oh,
But
well,
that's an
thank you.
odd situation. But that's why I encourage you to do travel
Yeah.
insurance,
Yeah.
read the terms on the itinerary because we've already paid the money out. We don't have a bunch of money sitting in a bank
Oh,
account
no.
somewhere.
Okay, I
That
got it.
helpful?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. For me, thank you.
Who else? I heard someone else say something.
Do people go through their credit card to find travel insurance or just a local, your homeowner's insurance?
Um, no, there are actually companies that go that you can that actually specialized in travel insurance. Hold on, let me ask while you chat among yourselves. I ain't go ask my husband. Oops, because he got care of that. Tony, what was our insurance
Um,
company? Alliance? Okay.
Elizabeth, did
Yeah.
you say that you're related to the Nicolishas?
yes.
I love your family. They're
Uh,
super awesome.
thank you. They had such a wonderful time. So,
And I met their daughter after the trip. She came up and saw all the photos before she got to see them because she came up to Estes Park and stopped by the tent. So
And they all also added to the trip. I mean, that's one thing. Just don't sit back and absorb everything. Jump in because we want to know you and know your connection. Um, Alliance is the name of the travel company that we use.
The
Allianz.
American. It's not relevant to us.
Yes, it is.
You're nodding, Wendy. That was the one you used as well. But
Yeah.
Alliance, Allianz.
okay, I think I've used them before. That
Yeah.
sounds familiar.
Okay.
Travel.
Okay.
And the only other thing I was going to say is for the Mr. Natalie Forbes,
I didn't say
husband of
Natalie.
Natalie Forbes, Mr. Sunday.
Scott.
Scott, hi.
He's a Scot. Who knew? Well, he's
I
Danish.
know that.
Norwegian. No, I'm not.
Norwegian.
I'm not a fucking
You're a
Dane. Sorry.
Viking.
oh, those Danes and Swedes.
Well, I know my sister is the one that's done so much of our like genealogy, and so the connection that I know of is a woman named Betsy Phobes, Phobes Dunbar.
Ah.
So it was kind of fun to see that your wife is a Phobes.
Well, there are so few of them that there used to
Hmm.
be someone who created this thing called the Book of Phobes.
Hmm.
Got it.
And it was literally everybody who had that name because there ain't that many of them, right?
Right.
And I think whoever the person who created the Book of Phobes has died, but pretty much you can look up almost everybody in it.
In
Hmm.
fact, I have scanned that. I have a copy of it, and it's in the archives for the Clan Forbes Society. I get my hands on everything, and I'm going to be sending a copy of that to the Family History Center in Aberdeen. I have a whole box of stuff that I want to send to Aberdeen so they can help their people learn their history, and that's why I'm trying to get them to the event at the University of Aberdeen. When we're there, seeing some of the artifacts, we'll also have the family history. They will actually help you with your genealogy as well. You can do it by Zoom call too. They'll give you some ideas and they'll go back and research and come back. So I try and get a deal with them, maybe give us a discount or whatever. You know, I'm a Forbes and you get a discount. But yeah, so I do have that whole book scanned and it's in the archives of the website.
Bart, aren't you a descendant of the Forbes also?
Yes, you and I are both.
Yes. But I have the other line also. I have
Yes,
two
you have.
lines. I have
She.
Forbes and Forbes. I've got Inverness and Aberdeen.
Yep.
Huh.
Scott, was another question you had? Or
No.
were you just looking very thoughtful? There's that damn cat. Anything else from anybody?
Bart, just since I'm
Oh,
new
French,
to the
there. Oh, I can
society,
just barely see you. Go ahead.
can you hear me? Yeah, this is a new guy question, but is this a typically an annual tour? I mean, most years.
No. What we
Okay.
decided to do one every 2 years. We are,
2 years. Okay.
yeah, we're kind of a small clan. There are some clans like the Campbells, who everybody else does Campbells. They can do it on a more regular basis, but we don't have as many people in the clan society. So I'm just thrilled that we can do it every 2 years. And again, because
No,
we
that's
reboot
great.
the society, you know, I didn't know how it would happen. In fact, the first tour that happened in 2022 was actually the third because we had to cancel the one because we had to cancel 2 times before because of COVID. Remember that, Wendy? So our poor travel agent created 3 different tours for us. We finally did the third one. So I decided this is too much work. But we can do it every 2 years to build up some need. That way we can project it in advance. And I have to tell you that Alex Forbes and Malcolm Forbes are very grateful for all of you being part of the energy of the society to keep it going. Because there was that 10-year period where the old society just died off and nobody took responsibility for it. I mean, yeah, that's actually what's happening in a lot of the clan societies. But I'm determined to keep it going, and I'm counting on each of you once you get connected through meeting these people, seeing these sites, to maybe become more active in the society because we really need your energy, and it's a really cool thing to get involved with. I hope, well, except for me, you got to put up with me at this point. But no, it's really exciting. And the reason, as I mentioned before, how I got involved with society was because of my personal 3-day tour with Jamie Lloyd Forbes that got me so excited. I don't think, French, you heard about this, but it was after I got back from that 3-day tour in a car with Jamie, hearing about the history and the gossip, that I determined to reboot the society and make sure that we had a tour viewer every year or every couple of years. So at this point, it's every 2 years, unless somebody wants to do it. Raise your hand. Um, but you'll see what I mean. Obviously, we have repeats, and if you go on 6 tours, you get one free. Wendy,
Good.
I'm just kidding. But are there any other questions, serious or frivolous? That the floor is open. I hope you will put the deposit down. This. If you all going to be on the tour, this will be a fun group. This will be fun.
We'll be
Anything?
the only Australians there.
What's that?
We'll be the only Australians. Gail and I'll be the only
I
Australians on the
love
tour.
you'd be the first Australians, which is great. We're
Oh,
also our
really? What's wrong with us?
nothing. Swear to gosh. I actually have about a dozen members in Australia and I think of 3 or 4 in New Zealand. So I'm gonna get a chapter down there. This is also the first time we've had an Englishman on the tour.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes. He's already made a deposit, Simon. And I'm gonna try to convince Viscount Forbes, as I mentioned, to pop in to say hi. He lives in England as well. There's families, of course, in Ireland. So this is really cool. So talk it up. We need to have you down there, Gail,
Yeah.
going to all the games, having a tent. We can get you hooked up. We'll get you banners. So I want to see both of you.
Well, we've been in training, so we're trained up.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well, this
because
is
we
that's right.
went
After
to a
this tour.
gathering. There's a gathering each year at Bundanoon in Australia, and there was no Forbes tent. It was very
Of course
sad.
not.
Oh,
So now, but anyone can do it. I mean, we have we have a director of conveners. We'll send you the whole kit. We have banners, we have materials, we have all this stuff. If you commit to at least one game per year, we'll get you the banners, we'll pay for your convener fees, and you're up. So think about it.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Think about it. Any other questions or comments for the good of the order? It's about 10 after the hour, whatever hour you're at. Nothing? You're all on board? I'll send you out another link for the deposit if you need that. Okay. Hey, thank you all very much for joining us this morning or this late at night, wherever time you are. But I just want to say to you all how I close out every meeting, grace me guide.